Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite topics, our best product roadmap tools for 2025. Now, if you are like me and you've struggled at some point to organize feedback, keep teams aligned, and stakeholders up to date, you've probably realized how much your roadmap setup matters. Now, today we're going to walk through 5 of the top tools that I've used in 2025 and what each one does best, what I personally like, what I don't like, and which one was probably going to be the right fit for you depending on what you need in a tool. Now, before we dive into the details, I do want to keep in mind some of the things that I look out for in a product roadmap tool. Number one, flexible and visual views. You want to be able to switch easily between, say, a Gantt, a list view, or even Kanban boards, my favorite. And some tools don't allow you to flip between different visual roadmaps. I do think it's important, especially when you are dealing with various stakeholders. Some may be internal, some may be external, some may need more visual representations than others. And having that flexibility within the tool can really make quite a big difference. Now, overall ease of use is really important. I like tools that let me add things like tags, flags. That kind of information is really important, having color codes or tags just to see what affects specific user groups or environments is really nice to have. Most of the tools that we'll touch on today do have that functionality. However, it's not within every single tool. So do keep that in mind if that is important for you. Now, ability to integrate with other tools. Most of our product roadmap tools do allow us to do that. However, not all of them do, and some of them means that you'll need to set up the integration. A lot of these tools come with pre-built configuration, which means the integration step is already done. I do tend to lean more towards tools that have that kind of ironed out already, and I know that that's not going to be a problem for me later down the line. Now, things like built-in feedback loops, really important. So integrated user feedback here. You do want that to be a functionality that allows you to take user feedback, incorporate that into your roadmap. Copying things like insights from a survey into your roadmap can be really powerful. Keep that in mind when looking at tools if that is important for you. Now, there's a lot of other features that you should look out for in a product roadmap tool, and I haven't listed them all here, but if you are looking for some that offer additional features, we will touch on some of those in the next couple slides. Now, our top picks in terms of the favorite tools that we're going to be diving into today are Productboard, Roadmonk, previously known as Roadmonk, but is now known as Strategic Roadmaps, Airtable, Launch Notes, and Miro. Now, let's just dive straight into each of these tools and what I like about them. Now, first up, Productboard. If you like things like really clean, visual data-driven approaches, Productboard is one of the best tools that I've used as well in the past. Really, really great. Now, what I like is that the interface itself is like really super intuitive. It's very clean. I mean, even just from the website here, you can kind of get a bit of a feel in terms of what that looks like in terms of the tool. You can use the free trial just to get a bit more of a deeper insight into the functionality of the tool and kind of the real look and feel. I would recommend doing that with any tool before buying. Always test before you buy. Now, as mentioned, the interface is super intuitive. So things like drag and drop features, really nice use of space, really simple to understand even at a glance. So if you're not a very technical user, might be a good tool for you to have a look at. Now, you can customize your roadmap to different audiences. So say, for example, you want executives to see one thing and you want users to see or engineers to see another. You can do that within this tool. I quite like that. I do like to have internal versus external views. It can be really important when trying to communicate specific product updates to different users and audiences. Now, it does link features to things like objectives and key results, so OKRs, which makes prioritization feel very grounded in business goals. That I really like, super important for me. May not be that important for you, so do keep that in mind if there are some features that I touch on today that are maybe stand out for you, but not important for others. That is something that you look at when you are analyzing each of these tools and what is important for you. Now, in terms of the downsides, the AI insights are a little bit inconsistent, I felt. So it can surface things like trends, but not necessarily tell you what to do about them. Um, I know this is typically quite a common problem within the world of product management. So you will need to kind of decide what to do with the information that's serviced there. Some tools help you decide what to do with the information and give you a bit of clarity in terms of your metrics and how to drive better product decisions. That may not be something that's available within this tool. Now, there's no native idea voting, so feedback is a little bit one directional. So do keep that in mind in terms of the actual analytics itself as well. But overall, really clean, really cool option to have a look at. Now, touching on the pricing as well. So as mentioned, they do have a free trial available, which I always recommend trying out. And they do have a free plan. So that is really cool within the tooling itself. Not a lot of these tools have free plans available, but do keep in mind that that is limited to one team space of one objective and one product portal. And then pricing ranges from about $19 per user per month to about $59 with enterprise pricing available, which is customized. So you would need to contact their team to make a decision. Overall, really great for teams that need like really visual clarity and data-backed decisions. And they can also scale as your organization grows. So nice option to have a look at there. Now, the next one on our list, as mentioned, I think people still refer to this as roadmap. I don't know how long it's going to take until we all start calling it strategic roadmaps. So just due to an acquisition, they are now called strategic roadmaps. But really, really awesome tool. This one comes up a lot and for good reason. So if you're into really structured strategic planning, you want some frameworks baked right into your workflow, this is a really good tool for you. So it's got things like idea management built in, so customer feedback can link directly to features, which is really awesome. I do like that you can prioritize using specific frameworks. So having a look at things like RICE or value versus effort, depending on the framework that you use, I can help your team decide on where to focus ideas first. It's very methodology driven, so keep that in mind if you are looking at a tool that needs to be very, very much based on that in terms of best practice. It's probably one of the more structured tools that I've come across personally. So I do like it for like if you're in the product ops space or you're a PM who lives in like process, probably a really good tool for you. Now, not the most feature rich in a way, because if you need things like really heavy automation, workflows, that kind of thing, you may find that you outgrow them a little bit. So do keep that in mind in terms of the tool itself. And it's also got a bit of a learning curve. So it can be a little bit harder to use and set up. Once it's set up, it can be quite useful, but you will need the kind of skills to get up and running within the tool itself. So do keep that in mind. Now, pricing in terms of the tooling itself as well. So do keep in mind it's pretty reasonable pricing. So if you are just a single user, $15 per month is really good. Scales up to about $42 a month, and that is for the portfolio manager plan. So keep in mind each of these have different pricing. Strategic roadmaps itself is $19 to about $99 per month, and custom pricing. If you are looking for add-ons like timesheets, capacity planning, that kind of thing, you will need to pay for each of these features separately. So do keep that in mind. I do find the costing can then be a little bit exorbitant if you're needing multiple features from within the tool itself. Now, next on our list is Airtable, one of the most popular tools out there just because it is really so easy. It's so flexible. It's awesome. Technically, I would say it's actually not really a roadmap tool in the kind of traditional sense, but that's probably what makes it great because you can be really flexible with the tool. You can be really creative. Can it kind of be whatever you need it to be within the tool, if that makes sense. Now, what I like is that they do have quite a lot of AI features within the tooling itself. So they automatically analyze feedback from different sources like tickets or surveys and user stories, and you can populate your backlog with that information. They do have some roadmap templates as well, which is really cool. So they integrate well with things like Jira, Azure DevOps. I know I've integrated this with Slack before. Really, really cool, awesome tooling. Now, I would just say that although we've got a lot of things like AI in the tool, it's probably not perfect. And I would recommend with any AI tooling at the moment is definitely analyze it, don't trust it, rather just check it before you rely on it fully. But I think the more advanced AI and roadmap features are probably locked behind higher tier plans. So probably at a basic level, you're good to go, but just keep that in mind that you will need to probably pay for more advanced features later on the line. Now, it can be a bit of a jack of all trades tool, which is awesome. So there can be a strength. However, if you're needing a really, really specifically product-based tool itself, I would just say that it's probably not the tool for you. However, if you need a bit of a jack of all trades, it's probably a great option for you and your team, especially if you are a bit more flexible. You do need some tooling that's not necessarily, let's say, like as rigid as some of the other tools we've seen, like RoadMonk. Now, pricing, there is a free plan, which is awesome, up to 5 editors. So do keep that in mind. Quite generous in terms of the free plan. And then you're looking around about $20 per seat per month, up to about $45 per seat per month with custom pricing for enterprise organizations. So probably a really good fit if you're looking for flexibility and kind of like a low barrier to entry, or if your roadmap is kind of just not, it's part of a bigger operational workflow more than a standalone platform itself. Now, next on our tool is Launch Notes, my pick, probably the best overall roadmap management tool. I've used quite a few. This is probably one of the more feature-rich ones in terms of roadmap management. So they do have quite a lot of features. I just do want to keep that in mind before I just jump into the roadmap features. Is you can handle release notes, change logs, communication, customer segmentation, feedback. They do have a widget available and quite a large number of integrations available. So probably quite strong. As mentioned, they go like quite far beyond road mapping, and it's really about closing the loop between your roadmap and announcements and user feedback, which is really cool. Now, in terms of the features itself, really nice drag and drop features, really easy to set up your roadmap. I do quite like that you can configure your roadmap stages. So depending on how your organization runs, what you're wanting to see, you can do a now, next, later, for example, or you can have various workflows set up, which is really cool. So quite versatile in terms of the customization option. And then, as mentioned, their segmentation is really strong. So you can show specific updates to the right audiences at the right time. You can flip between visual views like Kanban, for example. Here they do have list options. And then you can also view your roadmap in terms of what the users would see, which is quite cool. So I do like that. And then, as mentioned, you can have internal versus external roadmaps. So as mentioned with other tools, that is quite important because what, say, engineers need to see versus what your customers or specific stakeholders need to see can be quite different. So I do like that. They do integrate with a number of tools already. So as mentioned, I do lean more towards tools that do have pre-built integrations because that's not a hurdle for you to tackle. It's already done for you. I quite like that that links into your roadmap as well, which is really powerful. And then, of course, as mentioned, the feedback integration straight into your idea or feedback management portal all within the same place, which is really, really great. Now, in terms of the downsides, I would say that at a tool of the scale, I would prefer to see a bit more automation within the workflows, for example. But hopefully that's something that comes down the line. And if that's not something that's that important for you, definitely have a look at this tool. Now, in terms of the pricing itself, maybe a bit more limiting for small organizations because it does start at $249 per month. There is annual discounting. So if you are looking for flexible pricing, it's a good option because you can go month to month if need be. But it is really feature rich in terms of the plan itself. So do have a look at them if you're really kind of needing a really solid product roadmap tool with a lot of built-in features. I do also like that they don't charge you specifically and separately for each module, like your feedback management, digests, all that kind of stuff is all part of the pricing, which is really transparent. So I do like that about the tool itself. And then, of course, custom pricing available for large organizations. So basically, if you want like an end-to-end solution for roadmaps, feedbacks, updates, and that kind of thing, on launch notes is probably going to be quite hard to beat in terms of that and advanced segmentation. Now, last but not least on our list is Miro. Now, technically, Miro is actually a whiteboarding collaboration tool, but I actually really love it for visual roadmaps, especially if you are in your early planning stages. Now, I use this before we kind of formalize products and projects. So going from more like ideation or idea management, um, I find it's really cool to kind of start drawing it out, getting a bit of a process into place, looping in the right people, and then starting that collaboration. So I thought it was really cool. I've actually used to use it many years ago and used it more recently and found that their template library is really expanded, which is cool. So there's actually roadmap templates. So you can kind of find a roadmap for pretty much any scenario, which is really powerful. It is highly interactive. So if your team really likes hovering over, sharing screens, adding sticky notes, tags, there's even a talk track feature so you can record audio or video walkthroughs like right there in one place. Really awesome tool to have a look at in terms of that. So real-time collaboration, really, really powerful, a lot of templates, but it's an all-around awesome tool. Now, in terms of the downsides, I found like this example. We've got maybe a larger organization. I've had teams where we've got about maybe 40 people working on the same ideas. And then it starts to feel like really cluttered and a little bit chaotic. So I do find that that's not probably the best if you are needing something really structured. And technically, as mentioned, is not really a roadmap tool specifically in terms of the traditional sense. So if you do need something that's a bit more creative, flexible, a bit more idea and collaboration driven, probably a good option for you. Now, in terms of the pricing, really reasonable. There is a free plan as well, so for unlimited members. So again, really good option. You can try out the free plan as well for starter and business plans. So around about $8 per member, up to about $16 per member per month. And then, of course, enterprise with custom pricing for enterprise organizations. So overall, really great option if your team is really like one that thrives on collaboration and flexible tools for like early stage planning. Probably a good option for you. Now, I know we've touched on quite a bit, and hopefully this gives you some really good insight into some of the really versatile product management tools out there, and product road mapping tools out there, and which one may be best for your business. Thanks for joining.